We're back, bitches.
Tom Segura is not here. His dog almost died. Did you hear about that?
That's so terrible.
Now we all got to do a show.
So he adopted the dog.
Adopted a dog, and then the day after he got it got pneumonia, and he was a mess. He was crying, and then apparently he was like, he was crying. He was like, buddy, I don't know if I can have kids. Like this fucking dog. He adopted it for $150, and then they pay $5,000 in dog fees. And now we're all doing a benefit to
raise money for the dog.
We're not going to do it April 9th, but we're going to do it April 9th.
April 16th.
But we had to
April
move
16th,
it, right?
yeah.
So that's great. We had to move it so we could all do it on a Tuesday night.
In the Mancave is my buddy John, Tom, Joey, Ari, and my dad, and myself.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter, everybody.
Well,
What do you tell somebody Jewish?
I think same thing. You
Happy,
just look down on
what
them.
would I say to you and your family if I went over there to eat today?
You wouldn't say a word.
Not a
Say,
fucking
how are
word.
you?
How
You
are
wouldn't
you,
even
Mr.
mention
Shaffir?
Easter.
Ari
It's
was
got nothing to do with
Orthodox
it.
Jewish.
Happy Pesach or Passover because it's
Yeah.
Passover now.
Passover.
Yeah.
He was raised with wearing the hats. Come on in, Barry.
I used to live
Barry's
in
Jewish
Israel.
too.
Yeah.
Are your kids hunting eggs or just telling our kids that there is no Easter bunny?
I'm just sitting here watching all these kids thinking next year I'll be chasing my fucking daughter around. I got to lose 100 pounds before next Easter.
Oh, don't get my dad started on that.
100 pounds.
There's no fat old people, Joey.
No, very few fat old people.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's my dad's motto in life. No, there's no fat old. You're never going to see a fat
My
old
goal is to look like Charles Bronson at 51. Did you ever see what Charles Bronson looked like at 51?
Yes.
I think it was either The Mechanic or Hard Times. That's what Charles Bronson looked like at 51. If you look at him, he wasn't on no steroids. He was on steak and fucking running and smacking his wife. That's it.
Really?
That's it. He was cardioing, smacking his wife.
Run.
He smacked her until she got cancer, that poor girl.
That's aerobic. Especially after chasing her.
He was 51, I think, when he did The Mechanic. And he looked
51,
fucking
really?
sensational. He was sensational. And that was the 70s, before HGH and MBB and THD and all this shit.
Popcorn.
And popcorn.
popcorn.
I don't know. Well, yeah. In that movie, in Hard Times, he was a boxer. And the original Mechanic, you're right, he was a precision.
I should have a room mic
he was
so
a
everyone can
precision
talk.
hitman. America took the fucking other movie with Jason Strahan and turned it into something else. But they didn't pay attention to the little details. He was a disciplined hit. He was an older gentleman. Couldn't be chasing Puerto Ricans, jumping fences and shit. He had to kill you with his brain. He had to kill you a different fucking way, you know.
Dad?
I'm listening.
No, wait. What were you were? I want to kind of revisit the fact that you worked with Robert De Niro and how awesome that was.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah,
You
awesome.
call him Robert or Bobby?
I didn't say a fucking word. I didn't call him nothing. I called him mister. I didn't crack any stupid jokes. I didn't say fucking nothing in front of the man.
Really?
Till he started talking to me. A lot of people get on the set and start talking shit. It's like those people you see on the ski slopes with the goggles and they fall down every 2 way. And I go up there with jeans. I was out of Jersey. I go out there with jeans and a fucking high school windbreaker and get on a pair of 185s and out ski all these dummies with goggles.
Pair of 185s.
Yeah.
I would never in a million
Fuck
years expect you to
Who the
refer
fuck you
to
think
a
you're
pair
dealing
of
with?
skis
One of these
as a pair
fucking
of
novices?
185s.
And they would look at me like, look at this fat fuck. At that time, I wasn't a fat fuck.
I used to do that.
Yeah.
minute.
Everybody else with the knee pads and, mountain fucking skiing, and they suck dick. And it's like when you see these idiots on a bicycle. They're going down Laurel Canyon.
your skis.
They're going
It's
down
a
Laurel
very-
Canyon with a helmet on and a fucking bicycle suit on. If I'm going down Laurel Canyon, I got a fucking body gear on, a fucking little bicycle to let people know I'm a bike rider. What the fuck? Just dress how you fucking dress and ride a fucking bike.
What you heard, Dad, is Joey refer to a set of clubs as stiff shaft out of nowhere. Like that's the reference that he'd understand because he's like, what are 185s? Joey just talked about the length of skis.
He's never played golf. And he just
Who the fuck you think? These people don't know I was an international fucking skier. I didn't give a fuck. I didn't give a fuck when I skied. And I loved it because I grew up in Jersey, and when you ski in fucking Pennsylvania, you're skiing with fucking on ice. You break, you kill, you lose your life.
Exactly.
So when I went to Colorado and I seen that powder, I was like, it's like playing a one-nighter in Tuscaloosa or doing the improv on Hollywood. Like, you just go up there and say a word and they giggle for you.
Yeah.
It's that different, So I understood the patois of it, and I'd see all these fucking people with all these expensive shit.
French?
No, but
I have French skills also. Don't get carried away.
I'm making sure we're recording this. Yep, 11 minutes so far.
my family wore all the gear.
Did they?
Yeah, they put me in whole outfits.
Do Orthodox Jewish people have to ski in Orthodox Jewish outfits?
No, I think they take them off then.
But you
You
can.
have
But
to learn at the Nevele. You actually have to learn how to ski at a Catskills resort.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's kind of like when you ski, you don't fall down into ice or you'd fall into sour cream. It's like a big
nice.
sour cream, and that's it. And when you get done, there's somebody there to make you.
It's like that joke, half the Jews are on disability. Right? Remember that fucking old joke when Jesus comes into Central Park and there's like a rabbi, a priest, and a cardinal, and they're like, Jesus, help us. And the cardinal's like, I got cancer, help me. And Jesus touches him, and you're healed. And the guy's like, I got like fucking my toe, I got fungi toe. And Jesus touches him, and he goes to touch the rabbi. The rabbi's like, don't touch me, I'm on disability. That's one of my all-time favorite fucking jokes. That's a fucking joke right there, ladies and gentlemen. And it's 1,000 years old, and not one of those writers can Saturday Night Live could write a joke like that. That's a fucking joke. Don't touch me, I'm on disability. Are you fucking kidding me? You know who told me that joke? The biggest fucking Jew I know. The owner of the comedy club in Route 66. That guy would take you 4 months to fucking pay you. 4 months, he'd pay you with a check. But he was a real Jew. He'd look you in the eye and giggle about it. My taxes, guy. You know, I got to count. It takes me time to count, he would say. But I loved him. I fucking loved him. That's the oldest fucking joke in the world, and it's still brilliant. Because everybody knows it's true. I'm on disability. Don't fucking touch me. I don't want to sue nobody.
So so this is Easter.
Yeah.
You guys were talking about music earlier.
Yeah.
And now we're all in the man cave. How you feeling, Dad?
I'm good.
Yeah.
No, it'll be 30 minutes.
It'll be
Who's been talking music?
Joey.
Michael Betts.
What do you want to talk about music?
Nah, that's
Dickie
good. I
Betts.
didn't hear
Dickie
the
Betts.
music.
We were talking about the 80s music and how we grew up, you know, with a lot of music around us. Like, we're very, like, I am from Jersey, but I don't fucking even bring up Springsteen around me. Like,
Why?
I can't stand that motherfucker. Yeah.
You're kidding.
I like one song, Fifth Avenue Freeze Out. That's it.
7th Avenue?
Yeah, 7th, 5th, 10th Avenue. And to be honest with you, I like the one album. No, the other one.
Darkness on the edge.
That's a bad motherfucker. But I can't understand sitting there for 3 hours and jumping up and down with that fakeness. I never liked that shit. So let's get that shit out of the fucking way,
How do you
right?
feel about the old?
Hang on. Ask the question in the mic.
Old Billy Joel.
How do you feel about old Billy
I'll tell you
Joel?
how I feel about Billy Joel. When I lived in New York, I could tolerate Billy Joel. When I moved out here, I see all these fake New Yorkers, and they think they're Billy Joel heads, and it drives me fucking crazy. So that's why now I can't stand Billy Joel. Because it's different for me now. You follow me? I liked him as a kid. I liked some of those songs, but then it just got too fucking heavy for me, you know?
Understand?
Oh, yeah.
You know, when I was a kid, I didn't like the Beatles either. Now, they're fucking God to me. They're God. Like, I like John Lennon, I like George Harrison growing up. But the whole Beatles thing, but then after, like, Revolver, you can't get nothing better than that.
Now, Revolver is a great album.
You can't get nothing better than that,
Here,
though.
John.
It's very rough
I got to
to fucking...
concur on that. Definitely.
It's got to be
Revolver's-
very rough to find something better than Revolver. What's the one after Revolver? I mean, they threw like 60 at a row. Like, that's when they told the world, like, here we go. You want to see music? We went to India. We hung out with some Hindus. We fucking remember they went to India and bang and started. And then the other day on the way back from somewhere on a late night show, I was driving back from San Diego. The radio station was playing Sgt. Pepper's. Okay, and you know I'm old, and I remember they tricked the world with that Paul trick. These fucking kids don't know nothing about that.
Oh, Paul's Dead.
They tricked the world.
Yeah.
They tricked the world. Abbey Road, another fucking monster. The White Album, another fucking monster.
Yeah.
Let It Be, another fucking monster. They just
You know, that was Phil Spector. I didn't know that was Phil Spector.
Which one? Let It Be.
Let It Be.
Did you watch the Phil Spector
Yeah, I
movie?
watched it the other night. Yeah.
How was it?
I mean, Pacino's awesome.
Is he?
Yeah, but you kind
He's
of
been done for like 5 years.
No, he's great in it. But,
Oh, that's good.
But I don't know. They kind of make Spector out to be kind of a hero in this film, and the guy pulled a gun on Joey Ramone. You know, fuck him. That's all I have to say about him. You know.
Listen, guy, he was crazy.
Yeah.
But because of his brilliance, they passed it on. That's what happens. Like, you know who's the next one? It doesn't take... I'm an old man. Like, right now I'm looking at Justin Bieber, and we're building a monster.
Oh, yeah.
We're building a monster. This guy's going to make Michael
yeah.
Jackson look like a fucking daycare prize.
That kid's a
That
fucking
kid's
nightmare
the
from
other
what
day
I
he
hear.
bit slap somebody and shit.
Yeah,
It's
and
over,
he's
man.
got all these bodyguards, man. I feel bad for those
It's going
bodyguards.
to be all over. You can
It's-
see it already.
It's the
Doesn't take a
guys
fucking
whose
crystal ball.
bodies dictate their jobs because they're just big black dudes, and so they got put into the role of bodyguard, and then they got worked in. You know, it's good money. You know, it's first class flights. You know, it's private jets. You know, it's like it's got to be a ton of money, and then they got to deal with Justin Bieber, who's feeling his oats and like going through puberty, becoming a man,
Fucking
and
know a lot.
yeah, and I can't
You
imagine.
can see it already. You can see it.
It's like hanging out with it's like none of you guys probably pledge fraternities, but it's hanging out with fucking older brothers in a fraternity who like they just became a brother and they're like just hazing and they love that like power trip. It's the same. I guarantee you, it's got to be the same thing. Dad, Justin Bieber.
He's a singer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't follow him much.
What music do you listen to right now?
I like CNN.
Yeah.
I talk radio. I don't listen to music.
You don't?
Never.
Really?
My dad introduced me to Sam Cooke.
I love Sam.
Love Sam Cooke.
Sam Cooke was
He was incredible.
he got murdered raping a woman, right?
No, not at all. Not at all. My
Killed
God.
Walt.
I thought that's how he
No,
died.
Some woman stole his underwear from him in a motel. He got pissed off and went to the front desk and complained. And the woman at the front desk shot him.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds like a story you
And
tell someone after you
after she shot him, his last words were,
What?
"You shot me." That's it.
So wait,
He died.
there's no way someone stole his underwear and then I can't believe that story.
Wait, that's two separate things. How do people know that someone stole his underwear? Oh, that's
He went to her and said, "Someone stole my underwear."
was he? Does he have his dick out at the time? Was that what
He was
it was?
naked.
'Cause
He didn't have
had no
underwear.
He didn't have his underwear on.
Oh,
What happened to his fucking pants?
I don't know.
That's
I
the
didn't write
question.
the story. I just heard
That's
it.
what I'm saying to you. It's got holes in it. You're an attorney.
yeah.
Yeah, there's
What's he
holes in
doing
it.
there without
Hey,
As a
real estate.
as a
Oh,
prosecuting
really?
attorney, would you not find holes in that story?
Come on.
It's
I think
questions.
it's valid.
You really
He probably ran. She was the first black man that girl ever saw. He ran in,
naked
going, someone stole my underwear.
and she had a gun.
Actually, the
Woman that
hotel was black too.
really?
Yeah, it's a terrible story. Terrible.
Oh,
I'll Google it for you and read it.
Yeah, Google
yeah.
Well, what am I Googling?
Sam Cooke.
Yeah.
Death.
Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke's
You
death.
know, you don't watch any documentaries apparently.
No, my dad just sent me. My dad just.
watched, this Friday I stayed in. I watched The Song Remains the Same, and it was
The what?
doubling. The Song Remains the Same, Led Zeppelin, and it was doubling with the Temptations. Fucking with the
I
Temptations.
like the Temps.
The Temps, and that part always kills me when David Ruffin goes up to the drug dealer and he goes, "Here's 2 front row motherfucking tickets
God rest his
for
soul.
the Temptations," and the guy looks at the tickets. He goes, "This is for last night," and he goes, "I missed the show." He had been in this crack den.
Oh, really?
Well, he still had the tuxedo on. He still had his fucking tuxedo on, like he was headed to a show. And he goes, "Let me go cop a rock." And it was Wednesday, and now it was Friday. He had already given him his car, everything. I already gave him my car keys.
No internet out here, bud.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Don't worry.
You don't get 3G on the minis?
Yeah, I do, but this doesn't have. This is Wi-Fi.
So,
I'll
Joey,
tell you what, what's this gentleman's jersey?
John.
John, do me a favor. Eat some more of that popcorn. And when you go home, go to your fucking man cave. Tell the wife I need 5 minutes alone. And go to your fucking man cave. Put the earphones on. Put YouTube on. And put the beginning of, what's that? Da-da-da-da. It was 20 years ago today. But it's got to be fucking loud. And let me tell you what's going to happen to you. The same thing that happened to me. I had to sit down. I had to sit down. It was like being down the shore. Remember when you were down the shore as a kid, you heard it, and it was nothing to you. It was the fucking Beatles again? Really? Aren't you guys original? Don't you have Van Halen? You follow me?
Yeah.
But now you're hearing it because I haven't heard it. When was the last time you know what I'm saying? Let's come on the radio. When I heard it the other night, like my leg went out from under me. I had that guitar, that little fucking
put
guitar.
it on your ass.
Ari, when you came over that day and I played the fucking Beatles on the roof.
On the roof.
Oh!
And in studio.
Oh my! Oh yeah. I played the Long and Winding Road, Paul McCartney. And you knew he was on his way out. There's one point he just looks on the camera and he just kills you. He just starts dropping that Long and Winding Road shit, and you're like, this fucking guy. But I took him. There's one towards the end. They do what YouTube tried to do. You what's that?
U2?
U2, remember
Yeah.
they thought they were cool in L.A.?
Yeah, up on the roof.
They did that in 1968,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Beatles, with the English security standing there watching them, and fucking John Lennon had a mink on. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
badass.
In the wintertime, there was no sun out. It was cold. This motherfucker had a mink on, daring bitches to throw fucking paint at him.
Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead, I dare you to throw paint at me. I got a Chinese chick that'll karate chop you in the fucking neck.
The best moment just happened. Claire, John's wife, walked in, and Claire and Joey could not be more polar opposites. If you could ever. She's such a vegetarian. She had a hard time finding the grill today. She just walked in, and you could see her face like, "Mom, I'm not throwing my hat in this one."
She peeked in to try to
John-
listen as he was saying, banging bitches.
Bang a bit. I got a
Daring
Chinese chick that'll karate chop you.
I had to make sure that
The best-
Listen, I do that on purpose, guys. You want to evade the bad spirits
Before it gets
you know what I'm saying? You don't want like two women in here at once. Then we didn't do our job. We're
The best,
slipping.
Joey. Can I tell? Yeah. So John will come over here when Claire's not watching, and he'll eat meat behind her back. Yeah. He'll just fucking wolf down bacon.
I took. It's Easter and this amazing ham. It was on the plate. Barry made this amazing ham, so I took the first. First of all, I had bacon before anybody else had any. And then I grabbed a piece of ham and I put it on my plate, and then I put a pancake over the top of it so nobody would see it. And I ate it. It was delicious, man.
That's really sad.
So your wife's a vegetarian?
Hardcore.
Now let me ask you this: How is
Gluten-free,
What do you do at
vegetarian.
home? What do you do at home during the week?
I eat the fucking beans and the
Wait, can't you just
vegetables and all
let
that
her
shit?
not eat the other stuff?
Well, she does it for me too, though, because I have high cholesterol, so she wants to make sure my diet's all right.
Right.
I go along with it. I do eat it, but like for lunch when I go out, I'll go fucking.
So what she make for
turkey
breakfast?
sandwich.
What's breakfast at your house?
Oatmeal.
Which is decent.
Yeah.
What's lunch? If you stayed home for lunch, what would you? Could you have a tuna
Salad.
Salad.
Yeah, salads.
And what's dinner?
Dinner is usually some kind of like curry. I know it's rough. It's rough.
No
it's rough,
tofu,
fellas.
fucking turkey for Thanksgiving.
No, they do that. Yeah, she pulls.
Thanksgiving. Tell them about your Thanksgiving.
She pulls that shit out, man. It's all like she spends the whole. God, I'm gonna go burn in hell for this. She spends a whole day like preparing the tofurkey. She marinates it with like the gravy and garnishes it with the vegetables. Throws it in the oven. It's done in like 10 minutes. Ugh. It's like rubber. It's awful.
You're a great guy. John, how the fuck you're from fucking Jersey?
I know.
It's very seldom that you motherfuckers are vegetarians. You guys Philly cheesesteaks and shit.
Yeah, no, I miss it.
No.
Don't do that. But you know what though? Bring her in, but don't
She'll
let
have
her
a
know
nervous.
that I'm eating meat.
No. She'll have a nervous breakdown. No. Because I got to talk about cheeseburgers just out of fucking principle and how good they are for you. She'll have a nervous breakdown.
Yeah, it's rough.
Now, let me ask you this: What do you do?
She's also a yogi, right? Yogi.
Oh, that's nothing wrong with that.
She's
Nothing wrong
like
with
a
that.
hardcore. She's got her own studio.
Where?
In the valley.
No shit. She's the real deal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's fucking super successful. She's like hardcore, but it's an all around set of belief
You
propositions.
don't go to yoga with her?
I went to a yoga class once, but a dude taught it, and I'm not into that.
You don't want to do a dude teaching you how to do yoga?
No. Nah. Yeah. It was the dude. It was the dude. I'm not going to get into it. There's a dude that goes to our. No, I'm not going to get into it. You know the guy that I'm talking about. So yeah. Why are we saying the guy's fucking name? I'm beating around the bush here. So yeah. So
Lives over
Nothing wrong with yoga, gentlemen. Nothing wrong with that stuff.
No.
I wish I'd go every fucking day. I really wish I'd go.
set you up with some passes.
I go on Mondays.
Well,
to begin
Joey,
yoga
hang on,
from
Joey.
11:45 to
Joey
12:45.
is
I love
a
it.
big karate guy, and John's a big.
Are you? Do you do karate?
Yeah, I started like you in Jersey.
What style?
Well, I started with the black people in Harlem, Goju Karate with the fist.
Goju, nice.
Right, when I was a kid. Then when we moved to Jersey, I went to Gushinru Karate. That's what.
Yeah.
That's what was
Ishinru?
hot. Yeah, this was in the 70s.
What, in Newark?
No, in Union City. The guy's name was Wayne Norlander.
Oh, okay.
He was a fucking crazy Vietnam vet.
Yeah.
And he hated everybody. Fucking everybody. But he was a great teacher. I was there for like 4 or 5 years. But then when you hit puberty, you start fucking sniffing titties and shit. It's tough. It's tough to take the bus. It's tough to take the bus. It's tough to take the bus to karate. Once I got the height, what I did was I stayed in it. I loved it. I was like a purple belt. I was in the adult class. You know, I would go to New York to Aaron Banks's competitions.
Yeah.
I'd do all that shit in the Bronx, everything. I was into it as a kid. And then my sophomore year, that was on my birthday, there was a tournament in like middle New Jersey. And I said, listen, if I go and take first place in both things, form and fighting, I'm done. It wasn't hard punching. It was semi-contact from the stomach to the waist, no headshots. Yeah. Anything under there, you got disqualified. Sure enough, I got disqualified for fighting, but I took first place in form. And I go, that was it. And I never went back. Until 94.
You're done. You're like, fucking
it was either pussy.
His dinger and hung
Yeah.
him.
You know, I had to go to school in Union City.
Yeah,
so I would
you
get
had to
home
know how
from
to fight.
basketball practice at 6:30, have like a steak-em. Remember you had like a steak-em on white fucking bread with fucking mayonnaise.
Frozen steak.
A fucking steak-em. Oh, shit. I would get home and put those Ore-Ida wavy cut french fries in the oven, take a shower while you're in the shower washing your monkey. The fucking fries are cooking. I come down, put butter in there, put a steak-em.
God, steak-em
Because that's
for
my old,
free.
listen, ain't nothing better on this earth than Wonder Bread. There's nothing better for me than Wonder Bread,
Steak-em
motherfuckers.
were
All right?
frozen pieces of steak that came in a box.
That had to be horse meat. It had to be.
it was
If you
steak.
think about it, it was the thigh of the horse. They just shaved the thigh of the horse.
Yeah.
Remember, it all had like a
Paper
vein in the
thin.
middle. Paper
Paper
thin,
thin.
delicious.
Yeah.
It was
And
like
you
your own Philly cheese.
and you doped it up like a Puerto Rican.
Yeah,
You put
exactly.
like beans in it. You put fucking onions. By the end, oh my God, you could dope up a fucking steak-em. And I need a steak-em on the go, like fucking up the hill to the bus, and then catch the number 1 to Union City, do the 8 to 10 class. You know, in those days, 8 to 10, there was no insurance things. So these teachers would beat the fuck out of you. You leave class when your lip got broken in those days. There was no insurance regulations. You just opened up a karate school. This is when Bruce Lee died. Right after Bruce Lee died, the martial arts boom in this country was ginormous. That's it. Everybody wanted to fly through the fucking air. Everybody wanted to throw darts. Everybody wanted to, you know.
I remember when throwing stars were big.
Remember that shit?
Yeah,
Stars, yeah.
Throwing stars were like the fucking shit. Stephen St. John had them, and I remember going to his house and he had them. I was like, I can't play with those. He was like, I got a BB gun. I was like, I can play with that.
What'd you study, John? Shotokan karate.
Yeah.
Now you still go now?
I teach.
Where?
I teach out of my wife's yoga studio. I teach
No,
kids.
they just opened up a Shotokan school down the block from my house.
Yeah.
The big one on GMAC. It's jiu-jitsu and Shotokan. Chinese woman with, I think, an American husband. Very sweet.
Yeah.
I went there to watch a little a tournament one time. They were very nice. $60 a month.
That's cheap.
Fucking cheap.
You went to watch a tournament?
That's super
Yeah,
cheap.
my friend Ramon goes over there for jiu-jitsu, and they had like a little white belt thing. So I went over there to support the kid. He's a nice little Mexican kid, yeah. It's big up here, martial arts. And you know what,
It's
man?
a racket.
Well, it's a racket with the kids and stuff, but it's daycare with the kids. You make them run around cones and
it's-
shit.
I don't do that.
No, you're
Yeah, fuck
hardcore with
that.
it.
Yeah, no.
Dog, when I first came from fucking Cuba, my mother put me on 90th Street with some black motherfuckers. In fact, you know Eddie Bravo's friend, Renajo, his father, Mr. Orange. That guy still has a fucking school in New York. He's 70. That guy would make you run barefoot in New York in 1970 to Central Park and back, around the block with your arms up. And you didn't go home and tell your mom. He would toughen you. I remember he kicked me in the stomach one time. When I was like 8, he kicked me in the fucking stomach. That's the first time the wind got knocked out of me. And he made me get up. But, man, that wind getting knocked out of me was, you know what I'm saying? Like, they prepare you for fucking, these were black.
Just to put that in perspective, the first time the wind got knocked out of me, I was at Bowman Center on a swing set.
Different atmosphere.
Yeah, very
a little
different.
bit.
Yeah, I remember
tremendous.
it scared the shit out of me. I was like, I'm dying. I knocked the wind out of Leanne one time. No, let me rephrase that. We were on a jet ski and I took a turn
She
quick.
could come in. She could do a podcast. She's ready for us.
She hit the water so hard.
She's hilarious. Right
She
there.
hit the water so hard.
Let her in. That's my
Isla's
girl.
coming in. Isla, what's up?
Oh, the bouncy is bouncy.
We're doing a podcast, You want to hop out?
I'm staying.
That's my girl and stuff. She's in. That's it.
El Diablo.
El Diablo, compadre. El Diablo.
So, Leanne and I were on a jet ski, and I took a turn. We were going real fast. I took a turn, and she hit the water, and she went under, and I didn't see her. And she popped up, and she did that voice. You know that noise that you make when you... and I started laughing because I thought she was screwing around, and then I saw she was crying, and then we had to take her to the hospital. Yeah.
You didn't really have to take her to the hospital, did you?
we did.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She cracked her rib. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, her aunt's a nurse, and they were like, "We got to check this out." My dad said the most important thing to me the other day. He goes, "Your imagination is better than your memory." Because the way I tell a story is maybe not the way it exactly went down, but it's what are you talking? No, every story.
Not.
I said Annie, come here. Annie. I said favorite car I've ever owned. And he said, favorite car we ever owned. And I said, a van. He goes, I've never owned a fucking van. And I said, bullshit, you owned a van. He goes, I never owned a van. Annie, did we own a van?
Yes.
And he has no recollection of it. It was my favorite car we've ever owned. Well, Annie, all right, you're done. All right, hop out.
It was a loaner car.
It was,
We had it.
For the day.
yeah, but we had a van, and he says we never owned it. We owned a van.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, and it was my favorite car. And he goes, your imagination's better than your memery, big guy.
I don't think I said big guy.
Buddy, whatever you. Yeah. So, hey, Isla, why don't you hop out, young lady?
Y'all little
All right, yeah.
That's my girl.
She's a wild one.
She's the one.
I walked out the other day. She was naked on the sidewalk drawing.
Drawing?
Yeah, just drawing with chalk.
You can get a better angle on it when you're
You got to
naked.
raise her like Michael Jordan. You know how
Yeah.
they played defense against Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
They played defense on everybody else and let Michael do what he do because he's going to do it anyway.
Yeah, she's going to do what she does anyway.
What are you going to guard? Anybody watch 30-30 with Jim Valvano?
Wait, I haven't seen that
Anybody
one.
watch
I heard
30-30
it's
with Jim
incredible.
Valvano?
Wait, no, which one is that? What's it called?
Struggling and advance and struggle.
I haven't
Something
seen
like
that one.
Advance, something like that. It was on yesterday at 4 o'clock.
It's one all about the
Jim Valvano and when they won the championship.
Yeah,
In
Houston.
84 or something.
Yeah, and his cancer and the whole thing. Fucking brilliant.
I remember going to class and hearing people talk about that speech, but I never saw the speech.
Here's the brilliance of that. He made them. I never knew this, and I love all that shit. He made them cut the nets off. He practiced cutting the nets.
Oh, really?
Winning cutting the nets by cutting the nets. One practice a week or something.
Really?
Make them practice cutting the nets.
Wow.
And they asked the players, like, what did you feel? And like Joel Thurman was like, he goes, at first it seemed redundant, but he goes, then you start to enjoy it and you start to believe it. They would knock him. I mean, me and Ari watched bits and pieces, but I showed Ari what they had to play against. They had to play against a team, Houston, which was Phi Slamma Jamma. And they showed,
Drexler, Hakeem Olajuwon.
Oh, my God.
The
And
same college team.
They would beat they would have been on like a third place in the NBA in the league at that.
Yeah,
they
just
would have
that.
mainly made the playoffs if
The
they were
rest
in
of
the
their
NBA.
players are great, too.
But I showed Ari, there's one scene where they show Clyde Drexler just jump over a guy in the Final Four. That's what scared everybody.
Yeah, the game before that, he tried to take a charge, and Clyde says, fuck it, and just went right
over him.
right over
Really?
him. Just,
Oh, my God.
the
He
guy, like,
twists
moved
in
his
the
head a
air,
little bit.
and you see the guy it's just amazing. And it's college basketball. You know, they explained it. They go, this is when nobody was going pro.
Yeah,
Nobody
it was
went
4
pro.
years.
Ralph Sampson stayed 4 years. Patrick Ewing stayed 4 years. Everybody stayed 4 years.
Yeah.
So if you played this guy your freshman year, you had a chance your sophomore year, and it's like how they beat Ralph Sampson twice, and then, it was just I even had I bet Houston. I remember I had
Well,
one with
8-point favorites?
Well, they
What
were
you said?
8, and on
They
game
started
day,
it.
they went up to 9.5. And what happened was I had the Redskins in the Super Bowl that year. They won, and I won $800, and I went into the city to get some weed. Right? And it was fucking freezing the day after the Super Bowl, January 30th in New York.
Yeah.
The wind's coming off the Hudson. It's fucking freezing. So it was a health food store, and they had like a bag of chips and a Yoo-hoo. And they had like bulletproof glass.
Wait, hold on. Let's start from the beginning. It was a health food store and it had a bag
That's how
of
they
chips
sold
with
weed.
you
Like
with a bulletproof
the best is now people are like, oh my God, in LA, listen.
That was a bodega.
And bodegas. In the old days, you went into a neighborhood, you seen 3 Puerto Ricans hanging out, you moseyed your way over to them. It's a beautiful day to be alive. And they look at you and go inside to the bodega. You went in, you bought a bag of chips, you bought a soda, you went to the thing, you gave the guy, you knew it was $4, you gave the guy $20. And he'd look at you and he'd give you 2 little bags and envelopes, and he'd put them on the counter.
Really?
And that's it.
the worst weed ever.
No, these days. No.
John's the worst,
No.
man.
You got to remember, in the fucking 80s and late 70s, this is what the neighborhood made money off of. They didn't make money off beating you. In those days, I remember being a kid and going to a church on the Lower East Side and like pulling up in front of the church at Lefty Cortina. He's a science teacher at Union Hill High School today, right? Pulling up with Lefty Cortina and walking into the bottom of a church. And there being tables, and the priest wasn't there. It was like black guys that would rent out the bottom of the church for like $200 for the morning. And they would sell you 20s and 10 bags. This is what their business was. Out of a church. They sold it out of bodegas, out of black fuck.
What's up, Georgia?
Now you stop
What?
yourself.
Can I help you find eggs? Yeah. I'll be right back, guys. Here.
You had to do the math like
This was,
Tom.
Yeah.
Tom, you sure you don't want to hop in?
No, I'm going to help find eggs.
this was, you know,
All right, I'll be back in 2
And I'm
seconds.
going to help find eggs.
No, you stay there.
these were the days when the neighborhoods, this is what the whole neighborhood, you know, their living was, let's face it, white kids coming over from Jersey. Your life didn't depend on the kids in your neighborhood. You were all fucking broke. Yeah. I remember going over to the city and 181st Street, getting off Washington Bridge, going straight over, making a left, and then making a right, and there'd be from the top of the corner, like 20 guys from the top, and they'd run out to the car. They knew you. They were your customers. Every time you come, you tell them you're friends with Pedro. Tell them you're Pedro's friend. And that's how they made a living. So in those days in Jersey, if you got $5, you got 5 joints for $5, remember, like a nickel bag. Yeah. If you went over the city, you got 7 joints for $5. Right. And the weed was a little better. And it started getting better, and we started getting green weed, and we always had chocolate Thai weed. But I go over there one day, I go to a health food store, and there was a black dude. I'll never forget, he was an older black gentleman, and I said, hey, I want a quarter, because I had made $800 in the Super Bowl. I used to just buy 20s, but that's a certain day. I ended up getting a bigger size, and it was freezing outside. So I asked the guy, do you mind if I could roll the joint in here? He goes, no, go in the corner there. And I went in the corner, rolled the joint. I went outside, and the wind was blowing, and I looked, and I dodged down the corner. And you know how when there's a little corner like that, you light a cigarette in the corner?
Yeah.
I went to light the joint in the corner. And as I go to take the first toke, I get a gun put to my head.
What?
And they go, put your hands up against the wall. And I put my hands up against the wall, and the guy handcuffs me. I turn around. It's a fucking undercover cop dressed as a fucking mailman with the thing like he's delivering mail. And within minutes, like 3 fucking cop cars pull up. You know, no guns are drawn on. They just asked me what I was doing in the neighborhood, where I lived. I said Jersey. They took my ID out, and then they ran, the NCIC, whatever. And the guy goes, because at first they were asking me a bunch of questions. And I told him the truth. I said, I came over here to get some fucking weed. What's the big deal? It's no big deal. Yeah. And the mailman said, well, let me tell you what's going on, tough guy. Somebody's been selling joints to the kids. So if you have singles on you, we're going to break your fucking head. And they went in my pocket, and I had hundreds because the bookie paid me with hundreds. Thank God. They would have killed me. And they go, what the fuck are you doing here? And I told them. I said, I'm going to fucking work, and I came over to get a bag of fucking weed. We do it all the fucking time. Now you don't know. And the guy goes, all right. And he gave me the weed. He took some of the weed out, folded it up, put it in my pocket, and gave me a ticket for less than 14 grams. It was like $100 fine. Yeah.
Threw away some of the weed?
Some of the weed, so it was way less. Because I told him the truth of who I was. He was like, okay. First he quizzed me, and then he goes, give me some ID. If I would have given him Ari Shaffir and then given him, that's what you do in the city. Right. What's your name? Carlos fucking Muniz. Whatever. They're not going to check you out. If they arrest you, that's their fucking business. So, really? You're in Harlem at 2 in the morning, you see 4 white kids in a fucking Toyota Supra? Where do you think they're coming from? They're there to visit grandma? Yeah. So they make a living off that. So that's why they just gave me a ticket. And that Monday night when the NCAA, I had to go to court to answer to that ticket. Ugh. So I put the bet in thinking this is a definite fucking 100. Houston's going to kill them. I was like 19 years old. I bet $100. That's big when you're 19. Yeah. I'm sitting in court calling sports phone. Remember sports phone?
Yeah.
You call the welcome to sports phone with the 8:30 report. And he would even tell you if you were a loser. If you had the Knicks, you're a fucking loser. They would tell you. They would just tell you. Stop calling. And I remember if you called them from your house, it was worse. Because you get the phone bill and then you hear like your mom, what the fuck? What, Ma? $2,000 sports phone? What the fuck is sports phone? It's a 15-minute sports phone. Come on, he's the winner of the fucking... Because you need the late score, the Lakers. And by the time the Lakers won, the news was already on in New York. Yeah. So the news comes on at 11 in New York. It's 8 here. You need the Lakers to cover that parlay. You're sweating that motherfucker. There was no ESPN then. ESPN didn't have the ticker. They was at the beginning. They were white people. They were nice. They were Christians. They thought they were doing you a service. So Vegas showed up with an envelope and said, "Listen, we could do this the right way or the wrong way. Put the ticker under there. Let's put lines. Look at ESPN now. They give you lines."
What's so fascinating to me about this is that you and my dad kind of grew up in the same life, in that you guys grew up. You lost parents at a young age, but you went. My dad is so different than you. He's never placed a bet in his life. Never, been arrested by postal workers for buying weed.
Undercover postal worker.
What, Dad?
No,
what?
not once.
What makes you so? What was the thought process by not taking chances the way Joey took chances?
I liked living at home instead of a detention center.
I was never,
General fear.
I was never, ever, I never had a juvenile record, never got in trouble as a kid, nothing.
Me either.
I had no problems. Even when I was raising myself, basically, from 15, I never, because I kept it in Jersey, I kept it in my little neighborhood. We broke a window, we dined and dashed at the Mancave, The Mancave was a Chinese restaurant. We used to fucking kill those motherfuckers. It was two of them. It was the Mancave and the Wing Fung. The Mancave, you had to hit them on the weekends because they put the tray out of spare ribs. They had the best spare ribs on the East Coast, and they cut them in half, thousands of them this big. The buffet was like $14, which we went for from time to time. And I go with you and Ari, and instead of getting up, pick up the fucking tray. The Chinese people go crazy. Why we got to keep walking back and forth? For what? What the fuck for? And we give the guy a 20, and he go away. Take the fucking tray, take the sauce, take everything to the table. I swear to God, those days the fucking buffets were great. And then the wing fong was heavy duty. They had great food, but they figured out that we were gonna, and they were on Bergen Line, so you had more on Kennedy Boulevard. You either had to run that way, or in the weeds. On Bergen Line, you could run into different fucking locations. So the wing fong was during the week because you had to sit at a table, but they knew. Once we walked in there, they'd all come out to the front and shit and play like a zone defense. It was very loose. But the fucking Mancave, oh my God. Then finally they locked the door on us one night. We finally went to hit the door, and we're like, what the fuck? And my buddy had the check in his hand. He goes, where's the dishes? They called the cops already. So we knew the cop, so he made us pay him the next day. He paid it, and then we had, you motherfuckers better be at my house at 9 o'clock with $150, or then I'll arrest you motherfuckers. So we had to go home, get money from our parents, go pay the fucking Chinese restaurant bill.
Did you ever dine and dash, Dad?
No, I'm trying to figure what that is. But
when you run at a Chinese restaurant, run out of there without paying.
Just don't pay your bills.
it never occurred to me.
Never.
I mean, I feel guilty if I don't leave a big tip.
Oh, I would leave a tip. No, you leave a tip. You leave a tip. So I don't want the guy talking bad about me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want people talking bad about me.
Dine and dash, but you leave a tip.
Fuck yeah, the guy don't care. He got his. If you leave him $1 for a $5 lunch, he got his. I leave him $5. You know what I'm saying? $4. You dine and dash for the entertainment.
Okay.
It wasn't because you needed to dine and dash. It was like, fuck it, it's Sunday. What do you want to do? Nothing. We got nothing. You got an hour to kill. Let's go. Let's
go dine and dash.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to run into weird neighborhoods. One time, me and my buddy ran from Willie U's Shanghai Palace up in Cliffside Park, New Jersey. Tremendous, this fucking place. On a Sunday, we ran out of there, and he ended up getting a flu. Like a really bad flu because he ran like 30 miles. This motherfucker, me, I walked like 2 miles and got on the bus.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I used to have fun, man. I didn't have to answer somebody, so I had fun a little bit, A little bit.
So wait, how's fatherhood changed you, Joey? Now, because you're sitting in a room full of fathers.
I'm fucking 50.
Yeah.
So whatever I was going to do, when you have a child at 50, when you have a child at 25, it's two different points in your fucking life.
Yeah.
I had a child at 30 that I thought was going to change me. I was hoping was going to change me. And I still remember her being in the crib with her mother sleeping, and I would hide the beers outside. I lived in Colorado in Boulder, and I would hide the beers in the snow, and I had a dog. So I'd make believe the dog had to go pee. And I'd go outside and do a quick blast and drink a beer. and hide the beer can in the snow. And I got to the point where the dog didn't even want to go out no more. He's like, I don't want to go out. I'm all pissed up. I'm all beat up. And I would say, why isn't seeing this kid changing me? But I saw that with a lot of people. I think they're going to have a child, and, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do it. You're still going to fuck your fucking secretary. Cut it out.
Yeah.
That ether wears off. You're still going to bang the secretary. But it's just, at 50, I've already done everything I wanted to do. So
I said when we got pregnant with Georgia, I said, I just, not even realizing what I was saying, I said, I'll probably never drink in front of my children. And then, but then there's a solid year where they don't know you're drinking, so I did that.
Yeah.
But then I'm already still drinking, so then they're 2. So it was like kind of, I remember being like, God, I wish I'd never said that out loud. Because I definitely have drank in front of the girls.
You prefer it, don't you?
Yeah, as opposed to hanging out sober and playing Candyland. Have you ever done that? Candyland's fucking exhausting. You watch Isla cheat at Candyland? She's like, you'll see her load the deck. And then she'll place it, and then she'll go, okay, Daddy, I'll go first. And you're like, no, I want to go first. She's like, no, I need to go first. And then she'll pull Princess Frostina off the top and be like, oh, I got Princess Frostina. And then she goes all the way. I used to get pissed, but then I realized that if she gets Princess Frostina, she wins, and the game's a lot shorter. Yeah, the game ends. So I'm like, fuck it, load the deck.
Oh, yeah.
Now I taught her how to load the deck even better, so when she plays her mom, I go, if you count it, odds or evens, you can load it and it doesn't look so loaded. Like you don't pull Princess Faustina off the top. No one does that. So very specific.
When you have a daughter, what do you want from your daughter? I mean, everyone in this room here, we're all men, and we've all fucked women up the ass and come on their face and
Here you
shit
go,
like
Tom.
that. So, we all know the perspectives. We all know. It's like my niece right now. On my wife's side, I love my niece. I've been with my wife for 12 years, and I've become friends with this kid. And the mother raised her as a single parent. I relate to the kid because in many ways my mom remarried after my dad died, but it was me and her. You know what I'm saying? Who give a fuck about what your stepfather says? It's me and her. So I'm more sympathetic to a single mom. So when I go to Nashville, I always go watch the kid play basketball, and we're kind of fucking tight. And she's hitting that age where she's 16, and I'm like, I'll talk to the mother and go, Teresa, where's Kristen? Oh, she's out bowling with Cody, and in the back of my mind, he's sucking her titties in the car. Because that's what I'd be doing. Fuck bowling. You know this as a guy, but how do you act? Like that's what I can't. Like I'm 50, so if
Tom, this is a good one for you to answer.
I'm 50.
Tom, you have 2 daughters.
How old are your daughters, Tom?
Yeah, they're definitely
how old
a
are
lot
they?
younger than that.
Right.
Thank God.
How old are your daughters, Tom?
They're 7 and 5.
And what do you think about? Do you have a gun?
10 years, that's going to be happening.
Do you have a fucking gun?
All I hope is that they never meet somebody like me in a real life situation when I was young.
But if you show up, what do you have a gun, or do we have a plan? Can we all make a pact right now as fathers that we could help each other out if we know,
Get an alibi and let somebody else take care of it.
What a fucking great movie script.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever see Star Chamber with Michael Douglas in the 80s about fucking 2 judges?
Strangers on a Train. That's what it is.
When they were the 2 judges, and if you beat them in court, they would get together with other judges and decide whether or not you were guilty or not, and then they'd send a hit team out to get you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Michael Douglas and... oh my God! Tremendous fucking cast.
But hold on. The downside of that
I'm sorry.
No. The downside of that is a Maya Angelou story, which is she was molested when she was a young girl, and they told the police the guy spent 1 night in jail, was released, and the next day he was found stomped to death, and she felt that by saying it killed him. Yeah, exactly. So I think it has to be more mercurial than that. It has to be, maybe. A setup where somebody gets gonorrhea. You could do that, right? Rather than killing someone, you just, set somebody up with a girl that is going to give the kid gonorrhea, and then he will be, exactly. He won't be a hotshot anymore.
Or send over a transvestite with AIDS.
There you go, hot. Yeah, well.
Here you go, John.
But then
I think we can all agree, whatever happens, we don't want any more Maya Angelou's.
That was kind of racist.
No, it's poetry.
Bert, what else is in there besides alcohol?
Just beer.
God damn it.
Just beer. What do you want? Diet Coke?
Like a Diet Coke or water.
Yeah.
I'll take anything. I don't give a
Here, let me get you one.
I'm dehydrating here.
Leanne!
Jesus Christ.
Wow. No, just kidding.
No,
Someone get it.
I'll run.
So wait, here's my thing. This is why I love Pris, is that when Georgia wants to get to the age where she sits and watches a movie with a boy, I'll just put Pris on the couch with them. No one's getting near my children without Priscilla biting their fucking heads off. That's the best thing about Priscilla. Right now, she's sitting in the room losing her mind because everyone's out here. Yeah, that's why I got Priscilla.
What if they go to the couch?
What's up, baby? That fucking popcorn is in full effect. I love you. That's why. Happy Easter to you, brother. From one pimp to another. That's how we do it.
One pimp to another. Congrats, Dad.
You know, let me tell you
My
something.
status is elevated.
Let me tell you something, brother. You might have all these other motherfuckers confused. I know a pimp when I see one. You follow me? There's honor amongst thieves. You follow me? A wink is as good as a nod to a blind horse.
A wink is as good as a nod to a blind horse.
What the fuck you think you're dealing with? I'm going to take it deep. This popcorn is in full effect on Uncle Joey, plus the chewy Chiba bar I ate before.
What?
Oh, yeah. I put 175 milligrams in me about 2 hours before I showed up.
The family's away.
Prepared. This is a family affair. My wife is out of town. Elvis is dead, and I don't feel so good myself. You know what I'm saying?
I just smoked in the car. I got to back up when I ever see your neighbors outside, like in their yards. They look so nice. A neighbor has to back up so a bush blocks me, so I don't feel like such a drug addict.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting because I don't think marijuana in this area of the country is very prevalent and open and honest, and I was kind of shocked to see my parents' reaction to what they thought. You know, just
There's like 50 dispensaries within like a 5-mile radius of this house.
yeah.
In this country, I mean, like in this state,
Here,
it's-
talk to the mic, guys.
in this state, it's like, you know, it's kind of expected. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. It's nice.
Not San Diego. No dispensaries in San Diego. They're real conservative. Really? Yeah, some places don't have them. They used to. They got rid of all of them. Huh. They zoned them to hell.
They got that military base down there. They're hardcore
Yeah.
down there.
Somebody's got to replace that
Still
gear.
thinking Gasland.
Listen, this tax now, and everybody's going to jump on board. And California can't brag about it enough. I guarantee California says a quarter what they really fucking rake in.
The weed tax?
Taxes. Listen, we pay out if you go in there and buy a gram, they get $2 off of 18. They just don't charge you like $20 plus. You follow me?
Oh, yeah,
they
the
don't
price
charge you
is the
20
tax
plus
price.
10% or 8.9%.
Wait, Dad, would you like the legalization of marijuana in this country
Yeah, that's fine.
and fix the roads and
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
they tax the shit out of it? I think that wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
We have
I
so
agree.
many
People are going to get it anyway.
We have so many fucking worse problems right now than that's going on. And I don't think legal. Listen, I've been smoking dope for 40 fucking years. I don't think legalizing it full. I mean, nobody here as parents wants to walk their fucking kid down the block and see 3 Joey Diaz smoking a joint. You
Hold
gotta
on.
explain to
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this for everyone that's listening that may disagree with what you're saying. You are kind of the what's that they made the movie about that flower that grew in the middle of the swamp and with Nicolas Cage and what was that flower?
It was a lotus.
Yeah, you are the lotus, Joey. Not many people can smoke weed for 40 years and be successful in life. Like there are a lot of guys that have your same story that are not.
People do it all the time.
Yeah, but you're creative.
It motivates me.
Yeah, but you're not the norm, I think.
Well, I'll tell you what. I grew up in the fucking 70s where every TV show, when somebody came to your house, you walked to a table and you poured a drink and you just gave it to the person. When I turned 14, I couldn't wait to do that. I couldn't wait to be able to come to Bart's house, Bert, whatever your fucking name is, and for you just to turn around and to pour something, and for me to take whatever you poured. It's not like pussy's not. No, I'll take Scandinavia grape.
Yeah.
You fucking pour what you drink what I fucking give you. Remember, it was dark. It was that fucking double blended. You know. I can't taste alcohol, guys.
You're not a big drinker.
Right now, I would love to drink a fucking beer. Number one, I'd have to stay here till 6 because half a beer would fuck me up. I get giggly and shit. Fucking hysterical. And you mix it with the weed, and I'm gone. Yeah. So that's what I always wanted to do. I'm a comic, Mr. K. When I go out at night to do comedy, every night I go out with the intention of tonight I'm going to have a margarita. This place where we're going to has a reputation of having good margaritas.
Yeah.
You know, we go to comedy clubs and they have a reputation. Man, last time I was here, the guy made a rusty nail that was tremendous. Something.
Yeah.
I go out every night and I say that to myself. You know what I get? An amaretto and milk. That's how much of a half a fucking fag I am.
That sounds so bad, Joey.
I know fags that would bitch slap me, like that would come up to me and go, "I'm going to slap you in the face." You know that?
Cut this.
Yeah, my dad's right now going, "We don't condone the word."
Even a white Russian, in fact, if I got a white Russian, I'm such a fag, I'd have to put Irish cream in it. I don't like that
Lorenzo's like that. He does white Russians with ice cream in them.
That burn of vodka, yeah, but listen, there's nothing better than a Coco Loco from fucking Chili's, or what's the other one? There's a Coco Loco. Chili's has a Coco Loco, a top shelf margarita from Chili's in the old days. I would go in there with a gram of blow and fucking $40.
Dad, I love the look on your face.
Mr. K with a gram of toot and fucking $80 and somebody else's credit card. I've been drinking those
Dad, you
Coco
probably would have
Loco
liked cocaine, I think. Those pills you took to lose weight,
Yeah.
I think is very similar.
Really?
I think so. He took the second fen at a fen, right?
Yeah, something like that.
One of the second fen. It's the it's speed. And how much weight did you lose?
I went from 275 to about 210.
275.
Not long.
Yeah, it was pretty
Couple
quick.
months.
Yeah. Oh, he was emptying out his backpack and rearranging it.
I was a coke guy. I didn't like speed.
What?
I never liked speed.
Huh?
You didn't like it?
No, that's a
I
complete
worked like
different
a dog.
fucking-
Yeah, you were probably.
Man.
Oh, he said
Get
to me
5:30 in the morning, go home at 8.
Yeah.
he said to me, he goes, "You'd be shocked, buddy. I can focus. Like I get to work. I don't get up off the desk for like 4 hours.
Maybe it was Adderall.
It's the same strain.
You know what it was? It was Black Beauties when we were kids. Okay? You were a wrestler in fucking high school. Somebody wrestled here. When you were a kid, you needed to make weight. They gave you. I used to go to East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania on the weekends with Nicky, whatever his fucking name is, and he knew these guys that were like chemists that had been in college for 50 years and just stayed. And they ever been to East Stroudsburg? It's
Very
up
different
there.
than my
That
history
was
in
a big
college.
wrestling culture back there in
Yeah,
Pennsylvania.
that's fucking
Lehigh
huge, yeah,
University, East
Pennsylvania.
Stroudsburg.
And every week I'd go there. When I was a junior and a sophomore, and I'd buy acid in 100 bulk. Like, that's what these guys did during the week. They just made acid, and they'd create shit, 4-way acid and blotter and Mickey Mouse acid. But their real business was making those Black Beauties. And I'd buy 1,000 for $35, and I'd sell 100 of them for $35, and not $1 a piece.
Yeah.
That's how I put myself to fucking junior in high school, was selling Black Beauties. But when wrestling season came, I doubled my fucking profit. You follow me?
bet.
I was at every wrestling match. You should have seen me in the corner there with a fucking long jacket on, sweating bullets and shit.
Ari, did you ever play any sports?
Yeah, I played volleyball, basketball. I was a practice player for the girls' basketball team at
Any
Maryland.
men's sports?
No, I didn't. We weren't allowed to have football.
Tom, how old were you when your dad passed?
My first dad, I was 3 years. No, yeah, 3 years. My second dad, my stepdad, when I was 12.
Damn.
That's terrible.
No, but the thing that fascinates me is losing a parent at that age, what it does to you. Because Tom was like super independent from all through childhood. Like knows how to. Same thing that you guys have. That like he could change the tire on a car. Like Ari probably and I probably couldn't change a tire on a car.
No way.
But you could
I
probably
get stuck somewhere for a month.
Well, I could actually I could change tires on cars. I could drop large blocks out of Chevys. I could do all of that stuff because when I was growing up, I grew up in Escondido, which is in San Diego, which is right next to Valley Center, which is kind of where methamphetamine blossomed. And I did wrestle, and we did have a gigantic amphetamine culture down there. And so what you would do is you'd tweak out, and you'd spend 48 hours of your life focusing on one thing. And it could be either growing the best strain of weed or figuring out how to rebuild your Carmen Ghia, without the proper tools to bore it out to a 1665 or what have you. And so we just had a lot of time on our hands to do what we needed to do, and generally it was fun.
It's so fascinating though because like I couldn't change a tire. Ari and I are in the same. Yeah, John, you couldn't change a tire either. You could not.
Right
Now John's parents are both snake handling, like evangelical preachers. So go ahead, John. Could you really change a tire?
Absolutely. I've changed tires a lot.
Change time is not the hardest thing in the world. You just get a jack.
Well, yeah, but hold on, Ari.
What?
Let's back it up. You get a flat on the side of the road. Are you like, oh, no problem, I'll just do that? Or you're like, oh,
Oh no, it's a problem.
yeah.
Yeah, you got to get your
too.
hands dirty. Probably that jack
On the side of the road, I'm gonna get killed like Bill Cosby's kid. Like this is a fucking nightmare.
You gotta smell the fumes. No thanks.
You're calling AAA is my point. Yeah, I can change a tire. Worst case scenario, I'm in the
Did you
desert.
change your oil? I couldn't.
I couldn't change oil.
I can check my oil.
I could check my oil. Yeah, can you change your oil?
Yeah,
definitely.
It's very simple. It's
simple.
changing the oil is easy. When I was a kid growing up, is what do you do with the oil once you got it out of the car?
Now we're talking about the internet.
And back in the old days, what we do is
Pour it
we'd
in
find
the
a good
neighbor's
place.
yard.
Yeah, exactly. Dig a hole, put it in the ground, and put some dirt over the top of it, and act like it never happened.
So wait, how much did? So wait, how much can I talk about your life? Okay, so Joey, so Tom's mom, who's here, is wrote the book Heaven and Earth, the Oliver Stone movie about Vietnam. Your
mother wrote it?
Here.
Really?
And well, let me finish. So, but Tom's mom, was that for us?
What is that?
Oh shit!
What?
Oh my god! That's fine. That's fine.
Wow.
Yeah. Send Laylee in. So Joey, we're gonna bring in Laylee. Laylee is she wrote the book. She had it. Do you know anything about the movie? Heaven and Earth. It's huge.
Yeah, so it was the third film in the Oliver Stone trilogy. So he had Platoon, Born on the 4th of July, and then he wanted to tell the story from the Vietnamese villager standpoint. And that's that.
Yeah.
My mom wrote a book, and that's the movie he made.
I'll give you a brief synopsis. This is the kind of life she lived. She was giving pho to our daughters and Tom's daughters, and she was opening jackfruit. The back of jackfruit is it's like a watermelon, but with a lot of pricklers all on the outside. And very casually, Laylee says, when I was a little girl, to all our kids, when we got in trouble, we had to kneel on the jackfruit and then hold rocks in our arms with our arms stretched out in the sun so the village could stare at us. Isla lost her fucking mind. Isla was like, I just get put on the bench. It was here's Laylee. So Laylee, we're talking about you.
Oh. Behind my back?
No.
We went to get you.
Kinda.
So here, you want to sit here? Sit down with Tom. Tom, I'll give you the mic, okay? So we were just telling about Heaven and Earth and the jackfruit story that you were telling Isla in Georgia.
Okay.
Here.
So tell it.
Tell the
As a
jackfruit.
punishment, what did you have to do with jackfruit?
With jackfruit, first you have to plant a seed, come into a tree, harvest harvest the fruit when it's young. You can make salads out of it. And if you want to wait until when it's ready to eat, it turning yellow. Then you eat the outside of the fruit. The seed, you cook it and eat it too.
That sounds
And
good.
outside of the skin, you dry it in the sun, and you can burn it if you don't have wood. Or when young children go to school, you be punished by lay on top. Get your knee on top of that dry skin, and put your arm out with each rock on your arm. That is the punishment.
It's like a bed of nails.
You used to burn it for wood, like turf.
Yeah.
Wait, what was it? What did you have to do wrong to get that punishment?
Now do your homework or
What?
you nasty.
Whoa, buddy, you would have been in trouble.
I did my homework. No, I did my homework. I was no problem at school. Believe it or not.
Wow.
This is a true story. My brother Sal next to me, he's planted a tree. We planted together when we were young, a jackfruit tree, right outside of our house in the village. Then he left for join the VC. Then he missed in an accident. And
VC is Viet Cong for all you children out there, which means the enemy, the communists.
yeah. And when I can do without it.
No. You have to talk about it.
And so when he died, the tree got in bed, and every night we see him on the tree, jackfruit tree. And then after my father passed away, the neighbor also saw him sit on the jackfruit tree.
The ghost of your.
Yeah, just to clarify, she believes Sal Bone was thrown from a helicopter by the Americans, right?
So that is the story. And so when I built a big temple for the family, then we cut down the tree because it's on the way. So I asked my mother, it's okay to cut down the jackfruit tree to build a temple. My brother punishes me many ways because I cut down his fruits. And one day I come to visit my mother in her house in a village. And, she kept telling me about the snake come through the house and all of that. And I say, oh, yeah. I just listen. Until that night, my mother and I would sit on her bed and at tables and chair and hear the snake come in from outside, get on the chair and sit there and looking at us. And my mother talked to the snake and said, are you Sal? If you come and visit your sister and me, then please go to bed, because now it's about like 9 o'clock at night. And so he went to my sister's bed and just crawl and sleep there. All night my sister had to come and sleep with my mother and myself in small bamboo bed because she did not want to sleep with the snake. And so next...
Jeez.
I thought Joey's stories were good.
And so the next day, my older sister went to a psychic and asked, we didn't say anything, nothing about anything. And the psychic say, your brother is here and he wants you to replant the jackfruit tree for him. Because I asked for cut it down, so I have to do the whole big ceremony, plant a new tree, big ceremony, and send him with a lot of fruits to replace his tree. Send then everything okay. That's it. Just recently.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If that was the way they punished you by having to kneel in the jackfruit tree, why would you plant a punishment tree in your backyard?
Why would your parents make you pick a stick in the South? Make you go out there and pick your stick to bring back and let you whip yourself in the fucking ass with. Sorry, man. I'm sorry. I mean,
wait. Tom, tell the story about the time that you tried to rescue the dude who was drowning. Do you remember that?
Tom, now hold on one second. I got some back questions here.
Okay, please.
I want the fucking heretic here. Remember, there was The Exorcist, then the prequel. We got to get to the prequel. So, how old were you when all this was going on, Tom, if you don't mind me asking? This is very fascinating.
I'll give you guys both mics.
This is fascinating as shit to me. I've always felt like I came here from Cuba in 1966, and I was proud to be an American. And then I moved to Boulder. And in Boulder, I started hanging out with this vet, and he was jacked up, and he would tell me the stories. And I would feel like embarrassed. Like, I was like, wow, like that was crazy over there, and here you are.
No, but you know what the best thing about jacked up vets was when I was growing up, she met a bunch of vets from Garberville, which is up in Humboldt County area. And these guys would grow the best weed ever. And they were all battle-rattled, and they'd come down, and my mom helped them to heal their wounds of whatever happened over there, their PTSD and all that shit.
Right.
And she'd talk them kind of through, it is a war, and we're all people, and whatever you did is cool and all that. But they would come down with the most intense weed and, insane mushrooms and all sorts of acid and all of that stuff. And, yeah, they used to live in our house.
Ma, you want some popcorn?
No, the answer is no.
No, there was one time.
Ma don't give a fuck, dog.
Yeah,
Dog, Ma see the light already. This ain't shit.
Yeah.
This is fucking nothing. This is daycare here. Ma saw the light already. Yeah. She knelt on a fucking thing, all right? That's nothing. That's an afternoon for Ma.
No, when I was a kid, she had some yogi from South Africa. And I had gotten some mushrooms at that point, and he saw, I was like, oh, you got some mushrooms, and he starts chomping on my mushrooms, and my mom's like, oh, I'll have some too. And so she ate them, and yeah.
And then we're right to bed.
I went right to bed.
Some crazy dreams.
Yeah, have some popcorn. Have some popcorn.
I never forget that.
So let me. I'm gonna hop over with Ari. So when was can you talk about the first time you met Oliver Stone?
Yes, this is 1990. Oh no, 89. Right after he absent the books, and we met in one of the producers' house, Bert Klein. I don't know, you know Robert Klein. That is the person who brought my book to Oliver. So my agent arranged to meet Oliver and Bob at his house in Newport Beach. That in 1989.
Oh, cool.
Did you like him right away?
Yes, he's a little wrong when he get there.
Yeah.
But he's fun. One thing about it just for fun. He just playing around and he put his hand on my neck just for kidding. And
Strangled you?
just like that kind of.
That's a move.
You can do that.
That it just like go around in front and somebody go, oh hi, or something,
Yeah.
and he go. And I say, yes, Oliver, you joked me one in the past life, something like that. And he was just like, just like bring him back in a moment, right away. But since then, and he been to Vietnam and he went into Marble Mountain where very spiritual place in my village. He went in one person and he walked out a totally different person. That is the Jay. And then he asked me to help him to build a Buddha shrine on a tree house at his house in Santa Monica. But then I took him to Buddha's to have baptized in Buddha's temples and all of that. So he changed for, I would say, 65% said he know me.
Really?
In a positive way.
My favorite, the other, I'm definitely, and I will take anything out you don't want to hear, Tom. But my other favorite story is when Tom met Oliver Stone, because I'm going to venture to say that Oliver kind of christened Tom into this business, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And Tom met him, and Oliver was a dick.
Yeah, he came down to San Diego, and I just saw him. Our offices are right next to each other in Santa Monica right now, and I actually had to remind him of how we met, and he kind of scratched his head and said, "Really, I don't remember that at all." Which I'm sure.
Yeah, apparently, like he met Tom and was kind of just off-putting.
Yeah, no.
And then, of course, Laylee is so candid in the way she talks about everything that Oliver came up at the end of the night and said, "It's great doing this. I love your family." She goes, "My son thinks you're an asshole," or something to that effect, right?
The way she pronounces it is ass-o.
What I remember that he have enough, care to walk to Oliver and say, "Mr. Stone, I would like to work for you." That's what I remember. And he take one look of him because he's strong and healthy and good personality. He can see right away. And he said, "Oh, you do?" And so, contact my office. And then he come home and he write a letter and he showed to me. And I said, "Oh, no, honey, we have to do a little editing." And then we sent that letter to him. And then he come back and he said, call my office.
Yeah, no, the way it actually happened was I went up to him. And again, it was at this function my mom was having in San Diego, and went up to him and I said, "Mr. Stone, I respect you and respect your work and all of that stuff. Do you have any suggestions on how to get started in the business or any of that stuff?" And he had a drink in one hand. He looked off into the distance without ever making eye contact. He patted me on the top of the head and said, "Lots of hard work," and then walked away. And so that was kind of my introduction to him. And so when my mom said to me later, "Oh, did you meet Oliver?" I said, "Yeah, he's a bit of an asshole." And so at the end of the night, Oliver came up, and that's when my mom's recollection of events kicked in, where my mom said to him, "Oh yeah, my son thinks you're an asshole," and that's when Oliver said, "Oh yeah, we'll just have him, give my office a call and
that's
try to get
so
him a job."
Fascinating. Now, Laylee, what do you when growing up in Vietnam? What do you see when you see this room? Like when you see obviously a very Jewish guy right here with Ari. Is this and my dad, a very country club, and then Joey, he's in the mafia. What do you see when you, and then a banker, a redneck, a hipster, what do you, another hipster, what do you see when you see this room?
I don't have enough fucking guilt.
Wait, talking to the mic, Joey.
I don't have enough guilt in my life.
What do you see when you see this room?
Well, my very first see the white man.
Yeah?
Frenchman.
What?
Frenchman? Man. French.
French?
Yeah.
Oh, the first.
Oh, you the first white person you ever saw with the French?
Yeah. French, but they're not in civilian clothes. They're all in military.
Yeah.
And that is what I just Alan and I we talked about it last night because I do research. My friend live in Africa now, and I saw where she lives. We talk about what I've been there and what I saw and all that. It brings me right back to my village when the first time I saw all the black man with scarred face and scary look.
Yeah.
But then that image with me more than American later on.
Really?
But when I see the American man in my village, not in my house like this, but their own young military, heavy duty stuff. And I never have a chance to sit down with civilian like that until after marry his dad. And that is when, all they work together and all they will talk about their work and very little of, what going on about in Vietnam or in the U.S. They baseball or talking about whatever they do that day. So because I understand very little at that time, so I'm not too much in conversation. But only time we get together like this is July 4, Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Really?
And outside there it's war, so it's not. If we get together like this, the rocket gonna come.
But that was when we moved to San Diego, you had a big group of Vietnamese friends, right?
Yeah, but she talked about in Vietnam.
No, he said, what do you think about when you see people like that?
Yeah, after I come to the U.S., and his family and many neighbors in where we live, it come together. Again, same with, I spoke very little, and most of the time I stay in the kitchen. I don't know what redneck means. I don't know what different.
You don't know what redneck means?
Alike.
Redneck is him. Like when
white neck.
It's Leanne. Leanne's a redneck. Leanne's a redneck because she talks like real like why. You know what I mean?
But redneck to me.
You're not a redneck, Joey.
But redneck to me, it's negative word. So
is it negative? No. It's not negative. It's not negative if you like them. Yeah, it's negative. I'm sure it is negative if you're saying it mean. But
right?
Jewish could be negative if you go, look at that Jew. But then I look at you and I go, hey, look at he's a Jew.
Yeah, that's something you like though. But no one likes rednecks. My war has no color. War has no color. It's just an emotion. Think about it. It's an energy. A fucking crazy energy.
Pass the popcorn back.
It's true, man. I didn't go. I've never been in that situation, but it's got to be horrible. Terrible. It's got to be unthinkable.
I would imagine it's
unthinkable.
I think war would be a nightmare to be drafted into, but I can't imagine if it showed up in your village. Like I can't imagine being home and then all of a sudden war's in your front yard and you're like, who the fuck? Like I'm not made of that. I'm not made of that metal.
Well, just like you see on the news now, sometimes if somebody hold up something and you see how the troop gear on to get in after one person, you see how scary the whole neighborhood will be like, right?
Yeah.
In your village, 10 times than that, 20 times than that, and helicopter and a 10 and all that, looking for somebody that you don't even know, right?
Yeah.
And it just, very scary. See, every time I see helicopter now, or I hear the helicopter, I still want to run and.
Really?
But for you, growing up, you didn't have a side. You had whatever side was in your village at that time, right?
Right. That's why we see American come, we run. That's why too many of them got killed.
Really? So if you saw Americans, you just ran?
Just automatic run for rape, because they rape if the young girl and lady.
Really?
Yeah, and the second is to, they kill you anyway. You run or not run. But run, you have better chance if you stay by.
They're going to kill you anyway. Run or not run, they're going to kill you anyway. Jesus, what was it like moving to this country after you have that ingrained in like the way, like how, when you move here, that must have been, I can't imagine moving to San Diego if I knew that guys with blonde hair and blue eyes that rode skateboards and flip-flops were horrible people. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. What was that like moving to the States?
Well, first I moved to city. So that it gave me a couple years, You
moved to
from the village to the city.
In
Vietnam.
In Vietnam. What is that? Ho Chi Minh?
Yeah, now it's in Ho Chi Minh City. But that time at Saigon.
Yeah.
But then I'll be working for Americans, so I get to youth to them.
Oh my God, I would be so racist if I had grown up like her. I would hate Americans. There was no way. Like I'm not as even keeled as to be able to. Like
that is the problem. That is the problem. The culture in between here and there. There they can forgive and move on, and they treat you just like a long lost brother, and they welcome you just like a king.
Yeah.
And here, if happen it's opposite. We don't know what we're going to do if Vietnamese show up in your country. You see?
God.
It's different. That is why you can't heal here. You know, if 50 years later you're still looking for somebody, kill somebody in your family and bring them to justice. We say, hey, that long time ago we buried. I tell you, lots of veterans that went back to Vietnam with me. One particular man wanted me to help him to find a woman he burned her house, and she ran out with a little baby in her arm. And she turned around and she looked at her house in flame. That image stayed with him forever. So he asked me to bring him to her so she can tell her she's sorry that she burned her house. So we did. And he met her and he cried and he's shaking, he's so scared. And he told her that I'm sorry, I'm the one that burned down your house when you baby, you run out with your baby. And the woman laughed, and she looked at the house, she looked at her son, and she looked at him. She said, oh, I have a better house now. And my son, look, he bigger, he older now, he have his own family, so you have nothing to worry about. See, that is the kind of unexpected, over and over, many men that are brought back.
So it's so interesting because I've surpassed my dad in success, but Tom, you're never going to beat this. You're never going to beat... You were leaving? All right. I love you, Dad.
Stay black.
Okay.
See you, Dad. Hey, are we going to see you tonight?
If you come over, you will.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We're not gonna see him. So.
He's we're not going to see him at all.
He's like, what's that scene in The Godfather when? Remember when he tells him to go kill him? He goes, where is it? You ain't gonna see him.
Yeah.
So you think they pushed your brother out of a helicopter?
But that is in a war, and I think there are many cases like that.
Why do you think that? Was he crushed or something?
That is the fun for Americans to do so.
Oh.
Jesus. I could not... Tom, do you...
I don't push people out of helicopters now.
No, but it's so weird. It's so weird for you to hear these things as a kid and then to like kind of wrap your head around just hanging out. That in my opinion, Tom has. I'm gonna give you two of my favorite Tom stories. He wanted to do the Ho Chi Minh Trail.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, my uncle did it. I'm gonna just go do it.
Bong, right?
Uncle Bong did it, so I'm gonna go do it. And then he called. She said, we'll talk to Uncle Bong. So he talked to him, and he goes, yeah, how long will it take? And he was like, well, it took me how long?
He started off in like 65, and I think he finally reached Saigon in like
93.
No, 93.
73.
73.
And he not reaching Saigon, but then.
And he died twice?
He died twice along the way, apparently, yeah. But he actually taught me one of the best tricks ever, is that I was over there when I was young in Vietnam, and I stubbed my toe where it was kind of one of those stubs where you got the talking skin, and it's just bleeding, and you can't stop it.
Yeah.
He came up, opened up a cigarette, stuffed tobacco in the gaping wound, and then poured vodka all over. He's like, yeah, you should be all right. And it stopped the bleeding immediately, and it was fine.
Seriously?
Yeah, and apparently, the tobacco is a nasoconstrictor, and so that will close up the bleeding blood vessels, and then the vodka is sterilizer. Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
So my other good Tom story is one time he's eating like snails or eating shrimp out by the ocean.
Yeah.
And he sees someone drowning, so he swims out, fucking saves one guy, brings him in. The next guy's all pretty much dead. Drags him into shore, puts him up on the beach, lays him down, starts doing CPR, and all of a sudden, everyone's around him. Like there's hundreds of people around him, and the guy dies. And Tom, I'm screwing the story up now, so you take over from here.
Yeah. So basically, we save one guy, and we come back to the beach, and we think, okay, we've done our good deed for the day. And the kid comes running up saying, my friend, and we keep looking around. We can't see anybody. And then we see a pair of
blue shorts in the surf. I run out there, grab him, and yank him in. And at that point, the guy's kind of blue and bloated and foaming. And so we start pumping on him, and he's vomiting up all this nastiness, and we're just trying to clear the airway, and we're just trying to save this guy. And as we're doing this, the entire beach kind of comes and circles around us, and it's just utter silence as we're sitting there pumping away on the guy. And about 20 minutes later, we realized we couldn't bring him back. And we just, his friends came and drug him away and tried to take him into the hospital where he later was pronounced dead. But we got back to the hotel and we were all really freaked out. And so a lot of times, like I would do, I would call my mom looking for, the village wisdom or, kind of the, you've done spiritually the right thing and it'll take you the right way. And so I called my mom up, and she's in Vietnam at that time as well, and she was in the village, and she said, "What happened? I heard in the village that this happened." And I explained it to her, and her response was, "Oh no, oh no." And I said, "What's the problem?" She said, "Well, you're never supposed to interrupt anybody when they're dying by drowning or by hanging, or else you are going to go the same way." Oh. So there was no words of wisdom there.
Wait a minute. Ever since I've known you,
absolutely.
Yeah, I'll see you tonight. Love you.
boats.
No, the ocean all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, Sandy said that. Sandy said that Sandy is Tom's wife. She said that she's always been afraid when he goes out in the water because of that. But I wonder.
But Mom, like in your village, when people would hang themselves, what would they have to do to get the body?
We're talking to the microphone. Talking to the microphone, okay. Please.
And so, if somebody hang, first thing you go to police, and the man who take that person down, he have to go and numb himself with alcohol, very drunk, so he don't know what he doing. Then he get that person down with the cut the rope, and that person fall down. Then they take care of it.
But also, you had mentioned that when someone hangs himself in a tree, you don't want to touch the body. You cut the tree down.
Right, you cut the tree, or you cut the root, but you not touch the body. What happened is that you have to know about the tree of Plymouth. If somebody die in drowning in the water, they stay there until they find a Plymouth,
replacement.
Yeah, before they can go.
So tell the story of when you were a little girl and you went swimming with your brothers out in the lake.
Yeah, one day I my brother and I, we work outside the house and on the front porch, and we hear the screaming, the young boy, our neighbor boys. He's screaming, and we both ran out there, and he drowned in the lake. So my brother, he just automatically jumped in there and bring the boy up because he's much older and bigger. And he bring it up and he saved the boys. But since then, my family never thought that my brother will make it through because he's going to die the same way. And up he died anyway.
But the boy didn't die.
But he died soon later because of the war. So what happened that soon or later, you're going to go the same way. Even my brother died. He not died drowning, but he died outside of the house. He died unexpectedly. All of those things. But
you're saying that it's because one soul wants to replace another soul, so they can move on.
Right. They can. Yeah. And that is why the people here, you don't see it often, but I'm sure in Indian here, same as Spanish. It's the same as Asian. We worship the soul right at the spot they're dead. And they stay there until you bring them home. Otherwise, every year, they have somebody can happen the same place, happen the same thing.
But your son's okay.
Yeah, he okay.
I'm okay. Okay.
So it's not, the curse is broken?
No. We'll see.
I am freaked the hell out right now. You know that?
Wait, what's that, Joey?
I am freaked out. The popcorn, the chewy chiba, everything just killed me. You're right, though.
Hang on. So Barry just asked, does Vietnam have a shortage of paramedics in Vietnam? Because who would want that job?
They don't have anything like that then.
They don't have paramedics in Vietnam?
Well, not then, I'm sure now.
Oh, yeah.
Now, yeah, but it's not that good like over here or anything. But now they have a coach on, the one that works on a beach. Lifeguard. Now
wait, did they do, this is going to sound really silly. What was your, were there good days in the war? Where you're like, it's not I had a fun day.
Good day, that means you can take a shower.
Are you serious?
You can come up for air.
Shut up.
Good day. That means nobody die. No house is burned down.
So it's
you
not.
can
It's
rest.
not. There's no like. There's no. Oh, and your granddaughter just rolled in. Hello. Do you want to talk on the microphones? No. You sure? God, this has been. I've been dying to talk to you about this. I want to have you back. I want to do like an in-depth, like, because your life has been so.
This is a
absolutely
4-hour
fantastic.
podcast.
Yeah, this is a 4 hour. This started with Joey and my dad and popcorn,
No.
and now
I'm done.
we
done.
we
She
losing
freaked me out.
Joey. We should wrap it up. We should wrap it up and go hang out with our families.
Chicken right now.
Ari, do you want to say anything?
Yeah.
Do you have any?
First of all, how do you decide which men come in and which stay outside to do the egg hunting? 'Cause I saw some of them out there.
Oh, the real men stay in here. These are pretty much the real men. The other men take care of stuff out there. It's just. I think all the men are in here. I think it's just all the
outside who don't want to hear it from the wives later.
Yeah. Any man who is cool with their relationship comes in.
No, or doesn't care.
Okay. One or the other. But the women are just as interesting, sadly enough. So we should go out. All right. That is the end of the. Does anyone have anything to promote? Lely, do you anything you want to promote? Nothing. What's your foundation?
It's Global Village Foundation, but that is a different story, different time.
Okay, we'll talk about it again. I'd love to have you back on if you don't mind.
Okay.
I'd love to have you.
I did not know that you recorded it.
Yeah, I'm recording this.
You cheat.
All right, everybody, watch Joe Schmo. Is it over? Okay. Ari's on the road next week.
Okay, my storyteller show, April 9th, was taping it for Comedy Central Digital.
Joey, anything?
South Beach Comedy Festival, April 19th. Fillmore Theater. Tickets are online. SouthBeachComedyFestival.com.
Lorenzo, what's the name of your? Where can people find you?
On Twitter, Death of Grammar.
DeathOfGrammar.com.
Lorenzo.
John, anything to promote?
I'm fucked up.
Rolling Soldier web series.
The Rolling Soldier web series. Barry, nothing? Oh, Digigraph? Digigraph.me? All right. Jay Hollandmore on Twitter, and my name is Bert. God bless. What a fucking fascinating.
But you can see it already.
It's the
Doesn't take a
guys
fucking
whose
crystal ball.
bodies dictate their jobs because they're just big black dudes, and so they got put into the role of bodyguard, and then they got worked in. You know, it's good money. You know, it's first class flights. You know, it's private jets. You know, it's got to be a ton of money, and then they got to deal with Justin Bieber, who's feeling his oats and like going through puberty, becoming a man.
It's fucking now a lot.
Yeah, and I can't imagine.
You can see it already. You can see it.
It's like hanging out with none of you guys probably pledge fraternities, but it's hanging out with fucking older brothers in a fraternity who like they just became a brother and they're like just hazing and they love that like power trip. It's the same. I guarantee you, it's got to be the same thing. Dad, Justin Bieber.
He's a singer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't follow him much.
What music do you listen to right now?
I like CNN.
Yeah.
I talk radio. I don't listen to music.
You don't?
Never.
My dad introduced me to Sam Cooke.
I love Sam Cooke.
Love Sam Cooke.
Sam Cooke was.
He was incredible.
Yeah, he got murdered raping a woman, right?
No, not at all. Not at all. My
Killed
God.
Wall.
I thought that's how he died.
Some woman stole his underwear from him in a motel. He got pissed off and went to the front desk and complained. And the woman at the front desk shot him.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds like a story you tell someone
after she shot him, his last words were,
"What?
You shot me." That's it.
So wait,
he died.
There's no way someone stole his underwear, and then I can't believe that story.
Wait, that's two separate things. How do people know that someone stole his underwear? Oh,
He went to her and said, "Someone stole my underwear."
Does he have his dick out at the time? Was that what
He
it
was
was?
naked.
'Cause
He didn't have
had no
underwear.
He didn't have his underwear on.
Oh.
What happened to his fucking pants?
I don't know.
That's
I
the
didn't write
question.
the story. I just heard
That's
it.
what I'm saying to you. It's got holes in it. You're an attorney.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
What's he
holes in
doing
it.
there with that-
As a prosecuting attorney, would you not find holes in that story?
Come on.
It's
I
some
think
questions.
it's valid.
You really?
He probably ran. She was the first black man that girl ever saw. He ran in
naked,
going, someone stole my underwear.
And she had a gun.
Actually, the
woman that
hotel was black too.
Really?
Yeah, it's a terrible story. Terrible.
Oh.
I'll Google it for you and read it.
Yeah, Google.
Yeah.
Well, what am I Googling?
Sam Cooke.
Yeah.
Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke's death.
You don't watch any documentaries, apparently.
No, my dad just sent me. My dad just.
This Friday, I stayed in. I watched The Song Remains the Same, and it was
The what?
doubling. The Song Remains the Same, Led Zeppelin, and it was doubling with the Temptations. With the Temptations.
I like the Temps.
The Temps, and that part always kills me when David Ruffin goes up to the drug dealer and he goes, "Here's 2 front row motherfucking tickets
God rest his
for
soul.
the Temptations," and the guy looks at the tickets. He goes, "This is for last night," and he goes, "I missed the show." He had been in this crack den.
Oh, really?
Well, he still had the tuxedo on. He still had his fucking tuxedo on, like he was headed to a show. And he goes, "Let me go cop a rock." And it was Wednesday, and now it was Friday.
Oh.
He had already given him his car, everything. I already gave him my car keys.
No internet.
We're back, bitches.
Tom Segura is not here. His dog almost died. Did you hear about that?
That's so terrible.
Now we all got to do a
So
show.
he adopted the dog.
Adopted a dog, and then the day after he got it got pneumonia, and he was a mess. He was crying, and then apparently he was like, he was crying. He was like, "Buddy, I don't know if I can have kids. Like this fucking dog." He adopted it for $150, and then they pay $5,000 in dog fees. And now we're all doing a benefit to
raise money for the dog.
We're not going to do it April 9th, but we're going to do it April 9th.
April 16th.
But we had
April
to move
16th,
it, right?
yeah.
So that's great. We had to move it so we could all do it on a Tuesday night.
In the Mancave is my buddy John, Tom, Joey, Ari, and my dad, and myself.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter, everybody.
What do you tell somebody Jewish?
I think same thing. You
Happy,
just look down on them.
What would I say to you and your family if I went over there to eat today?
You wouldn't say a word.
Not
You'd
a
say,
fucking
"How are you?"
word. How
You
are
wouldn't
you,
even
Mr.
mention
Shaffir?
Easter.
Ari
It's
was
got nothing to do with
Orthodox
it.
Jewish dad.
Happy Pesach or Passover because it's
Yeah.
Passover now. Yeah.
He was raised with wearing the hats. Come on in, Barry.
I used to live
Barry's
in
Jewish
Israel.
too.
Yeah.
Are your kids hunting eggs or just telling our kids that there is no Easter bunny?
I'm just sitting here watching all these kids thinking next year I'll be chasing my fucking daughter around. I got to lose 100 pounds before next Easter.
Oh, don't get my dad started on that.
100 pounds.
There's no fat old people, Joey.
No. Very few fat old people.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's my dad's motto in life. No, there's no fat old. You're never going to see a fat
My
old
goal is to look like Charles Bronson at 51. Did you ever see what Charles Bronson looked like at 51?
Yes.
I think it was either The Mechanic or Hard Times. That's what Charles Bronson looked like at 51. If you look at him, he wasn't on no steroids. He was on steak and fucking running and smacking his wife. That's it.
Really?
That's it. He was cardioing, smacking his wife. He smacked until she got cancer, that poor girl.
That's aerobic. Especially after chasing her.
He was 51, I think, when he did The Mechanic. And he looked
51,
fucking
really?
sensational. He was sensational. And that was the 70s, before HGH and MBB and THD and all this shit.
Popcorn.
And popcorn.
Popcorn?
I don't know. Well, yeah. In that movie, in Hard Times, he was a boxer. And the original Mechanic, you're right, he was a precision.
I should have a room mic
he was
so
a
everyone can
precision
talk.
hitman. America took the fucking other movie with Jason Strahan and turned it into something else. But they didn't pay attention to the little details. He was a disciplined hit. He was an older gentleman. Couldn't be chasing Puerto Ricans, jumping fences and shit. He had to kill you with his brain. He had to kill you a different fucking way, you know.
Dad?
I'm listening.
No, wait. What were you were? I want to kind of revisit the fact that you worked with Robert De Niro and how awesome that was.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah,
You
awesome.
call him Robert or Bobby?
I didn't say a fucking word. I didn't call him nothing. I called him Mister. I didn't crack any stupid jokes. I didn't say fucking nothing in front of the man.
Really?
Till he started talking to me. A lot of people get on the set and start talking shit. It's like those people you see on the ski slopes with the goggles and they fall down every 2 weeks. And I go up there with jeans. I was out of Jersey. I go out there with jeans and a fucking high school windbreaker and get on a pair of 185s and out ski all these dummies with goggles.
Pair of 185s.
Yeah.
I would never in a million
Fuck
years
around.
expect you to
Who the
refer
fuck you
to
think
a
you're
pair
dealing
of
with?
skis
One of
as
these
a pair
fucking
of
novices?
185s.
And they would look at me like, look at this fat fuck. At that time, I wasn't a fat fuck.
I used to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody else with the knee pads and mountain fucking skiing, and they suck dick. And it's like when you see these idiots on a bicycle. They're going down Laurel Canyon. They're going down Laurel Canyon with a helmet on and a fucking bicycle suit on. If I'm going down Laurel Canyon, I got a fucking body gear on, a fucking little bicycle to let people know I'm a bike rider. What the fuck? Just dress how you fucking dress and ride a fucking bike.
What you heard, Dad, is Joey refer to a set of clubs as stiff shaft out of nowhere. Like that's the reference that he'd understand because he's like, what are 185s? Joey just talked about the length of skis.
Like he's never played golf. Wow.
Who the fuck do you think these people don't know I was an international fucking skier? I didn't give a fuck. I didn't give a fuck when I skied. And I loved it because I grew up in Jersey, and when you ski in fucking Pennsylvania, you're skiing with fucking on ice. You break, you kill, you lose your life. Exactly. So when I went to Colorado and I seen that powder, I was like, it's like playing a one-nighter in Tuscaloosa or doing the improv on Hollywood. Like, you just go up there and say a word and they giggle for you.
Yeah.
It's that different, So I understood the patois of it, and I'd see all these fucking people with all these expensive shit.
French?
No, but
I have French skills also. Don't get carried away.
I'm making sure we're recording this. Yep, 11 minutes so far.
My family wore all the gear.
Did they?
Yeah, they put me in whole outfits.
Do Orthodox Jewish people have to ski in Orthodox Jewish outfits?
No, I think they take them off then.
But you have to learn at the Nevele. You actually have to learn how to ski at a Catskills resort.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's kind of like when you ski, you don't fall down into ice or you'd fall into sour cream. It's like a big
nice.
sour cream, and that's it. And when you get done, there's somebody there to make you.
It's like that joke. Half the Jews are on disability. Right? Remember that fucking old joke when Jesus comes into Central Park and there's like a rabbi, a priest, and a cardinal, and they're like, Jesus, help us. And the cardinal's like, I got cancer, help me. And Jesus touches him, you're healed. And the guy's like, I got like fucking my toe, I got fungi toe. And Jesus touches him, and he goes to touch the rabbi. The rabbi's like, don't touch me, I'm on disability. That's one of my all-time favorite fucking jokes. That's a fucking joke right there, ladies and gentlemen. And it's 1,000 years old, and not one of those writers can Saturday Night Live could write a joke like that. That's a fucking joke. Don't touch me, I'm on disability. Are you fucking kidding me? You know who told me that joke? The biggest fucking Jew I know. The owner of the comedy club in Route 66. That guy would take you 4 months to fucking pay you. 4 months, he'd pay you with a check. But he was a real Jew. He'd look you in the eye and giggle about it. My taxes, guy. I got to count. It takes me time to count, he would say. But I loved him. I fucking loved him. That's the oldest fucking joke in the world, and it's still brilliant. Because everybody knows it's true. I'm on disability. Great. Don't fucking touch me. I don't want to sue nobody.
So this is Easter.
Yeah.
You guys were talking about music earlier. Yeah. And now we're all in the man cave. How you feeling, Dad?
I'm good.
Yeah.
No, it'll be 30 minutes.
It'll be 30.
Who's been talking music?
Joey.
Michael Betts.
What do you want to talk about music?
Dickie Betts. I didn't hear
Dickie Betts. We were talking about the 80s music and how we grew up, with a lot of music around us. Like we're very I am from Jersey, but I don't fucking even bring up Springsteen around me. I can't stand that motherfucker. Yeah.
You're kidding.
I like one song, Fifth Avenue Freeze Out. That's it.
7th Avenue?
Yeah, 7th, 5th, 10th Avenue. And to be honest with you, I like the one album. No, the other one.
Darkness on the Edge.
That's a bad motherfucker. But I can't understand sitting there for 3 hours and jumping up and down with that fakeness. I never liked that shit. So let's get that shit out of the fucking way, right?
How do you feel about the old...
Hang on. Ask the question in the mic.
Oh, sorry.
Old Billy Joel.
So how do you feel about old Billy Joel?
I'll tell you how I feel about Billy Joel. When I lived in New York, I could tolerate Billy Joel. When I moved out here, I see all these fake New Yorkers, and they think they're Billy Joel heads, and it drives me fucking crazy. So that's why now I can't stand Billy Joel. It's different for me now. You follow me? I liked him as a kid. I liked some of those songs, but then it just got too fucking heavy for me,
Understand?
Oh, yeah.
When I was a kid, I didn't like the Beatles either. Now, they're fucking God to me. They're God. Like, I like John Lennon, I like George Harrison growing up. But the whole Beatles thing, but then after, Revolver, you can't get nothing better than that.
Now, Revolver is a great album.
You can't get nothing better than that, though.
John.
It's very rough.
I got to
fucking
concur on that. Definitely.
It's got to be very rough to find something better than Revolver. What's the one after Revolver? I mean, they threw 6 at a row. That's when they told the world, here we go. You want to see music? We went to India. We hung out with some Hindus. We fucking remember they went to India and started. And then the other day on the way back from somewhere on a late night show, I was driving back from San Diego. The radio station was playing Sgt. Pepper's Okay, and I'm old, and I remember they tricked the world with that Paul trick. These fucking kids don't know nothing about that.
Oh, Paul's dead.
They tricked the world.
Yeah,
they tricked the world. Abbey Road, another fucking monster. The White Album, another fucking monster.
Yeah.
Let It Be, another fucking monster. They just
that was Phil Spector. I didn't know that was Phil Spector.
Which one? Let It Be.
Let It Be.
Did you watch the Phil Spector?
Yeah,
movie?
I watched it the other night. Yeah.
How was it?
I mean, Pacino's awesome.
Is he?
Yeah, but you kind of
He's been done for like 5 years.
No, he's great in it. But,
that's good.
But I don't know. They kind of make Spector out to be kind of a hero in this film, and the guy pulled a gun on Joey Ramone. Fuck him. That's all I have to say about him.
Listen, guy, he was crazy.
Yeah.
But because of his brilliance, they passed it on. That's what happens. Like, who's the next one? It doesn't take. I'm an old man. Like right now, I'm looking at Justin Bieber, and we're building a monster.
Oh yeah.
We're building a monster. This guy's gonna make Michael Jackson look like a fucking daycare prize.
That kid's a fucking nightmare.
The
From
other
what
day,
I
he
hear.
bitch slapped somebody and shit.
Yeah, and he's got all these bodyguards. Man, I feel bad for those
It's
bodyguards.
gonna be all over.
Get out here, bud.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
You don't get 3G on the minis?
Yeah, I do, but this doesn't have. This is Wi-Fi.
So, Joey,
I'll tell you what's this gentleman jersey?
John,
do me a favor. Eat some more of that popcorn. When you go home, go to your fucking man cave. Tell the wife I need 5 minutes alone. And go to your fucking man cave. Put the earphones on. Put YouTube on. And put the beginning of, what's that? It was 20 years ago today. But it's got to be fucking loud. And let me tell you what's going to happen to you. The same thing that happened to me. I had to sit down. It was like being down the shore. Remember when you were down the shore as a kid, you heard it, and it was nothing to you. It was the fucking Beatles again? Really? Aren't you guys original? Don't you have Van Halen? You follow me?
Yeah.
But now you're hearing it because I haven't heard it. When was the last time you know what I'm saying? When I heard it the other night, like my leg went out from under me. I had that guitar, that little fucking
put it
guitar.
on your ass.
Ari, when you came over that day and I played the fucking Beatles on the roof.
On the roof.
Oh!
And in studio.
Oh, my. Oh, yeah. I played The Long and Winding Road, Paul McCartney, and you knew he was on his way out. There's one point he just looks on the camera and he just kills you. He just starts dropping that Long and Winding Road shit, and you're like, this fucking guy. But I took him. There's one towards the end. They do what YouTube tried to do. What's that?
U2.
Remember they thought they were cool in L.A.
Yeah, up on the roof.
They did that in 1968.
Yeah,
the Beatles with the English security standing there watching them, and fucking John Lennon had a mink on. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? In the wintertime, there was no sun out. It was cold. This motherfucker had a mink on, daring bitches to throw fucking paint at him.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I dare you to throw paint at me. I got a Chinese chick that'll karate chop you in the fucking neck.
the best moment just happened. Claire, John's wife, walked in, and Claire and Joey could not be more polar opposites. If you could ever. She's such a vegetarian. She had a hard time finding the grill today. She just walked in, and you could see her face like, "Mom, I'm not throwing my hat in this one."
She peeked in to try to listen as he was saying, "Banging bitches,
banging bitches. I got a Chinese chick that'll karate chop you."
I had to make sure that
the best.
Listen, I do that on purpose, guys. I want to evade the bad spirits
before it gets
bad. You don't want like two women in here at once. Then we didn't do our job.
The best, Joey. Can I tell? Yeah. So John will come over here when Claire's not watching, and he'll eat meat behind her back. Yeah. He'll just fucking wolf down bacon.
I took. It's Easter and this amazing ham. It was on the plate. Barry made this amazing ham, so I took the first of all, I had bacon before anybody else had any. And then I grabbed a piece of ham and I put it on my plate, and then I put a pancake over the top of it so nobody would see it. And I ate it. It was delicious, man.
That's really sad.
So your wife's a vegetarian?
Hardcore.
Now let me ask you this:
gluten-free.
What do you do at home? What do you do at home during the week?
I eat the fucking beans and the
Wait, can't you just
vegetables and all that shit.
Not eat